ZeP120 English version. UNESCO. Neutrality broken, a fractured world. UNESCO was created to protect culture. Today, culture is being weaponized. Science was meant to unite humanity. It has become a battlefield. What is unfolding here is not a cultural dispute. It's a struggle over the future of multilateralism itself. This analysis is based on speech delivered by Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov in Moscow at the General Assembly of the Russian Commission for UNESCO. This was not an improvised remark, not a symbolic gesture. It was a strategic address, carefully structured, deliberate in tone, and revealing of deep fractures now running through the global multilateral system. Act 1. The accusation. In this speech, Sergey Lavrov delivers a blunt accusation. UNESCO, he argues, is being increasingly politicized. According to Sergey Lavrov, the organization has been diverted from its founding mission, culture, science, and education, and reshaped by ideological and geopolitical agendas foreign to its mandate. He points to what he calls clear and systematic double standards, particularly in resolutions related to Crimea and the Ukraine conflict. These resolutions, he argues, go far beyond UNESCO's institutional competence. For Moscow, depoliticizing UNESCO is no longer optional. It has become a vital necessity, because once culture becomes a weapon, multilateralism ceases to function. Act 2. The Ukrainian case. A central part of the speech focuses on Ukraine. Sergey Lavrov accuses UNESCO of ignoring the marginalization of Russian language and culture, the suppression of Russian-speaking communities, and restrictions on Orthodox religious practice. He notes that these rights are guaranteed under the UN Charter. He highlights what he describes as a stark contradiction. When monuments linked to Russian history are destroyed, the response is silence. Yet days later, UNESCO moves to inscribe the historic center of Odessa on the World Heritage List, invoking the protection of universal cultural value. For Moscow, this is not an oversight. It's a systematic inconsistency that undermines the organization's credibility. Act 3. Pressure, exclusion, and the global south. Sergey Lavrov then turns to the internal mechanics of UNESCO. He speaks of heavy political pressure exerted on member states, particularly countries of the global south. These pressures, he argues, were applied during elections to UNESCO bodies and governing organs. Russia's candidacy was blocked. Yet despite this pressure, 93 states supported Moscow. Sergey Lavrov stresses that Russia has not withdrawn from UNESCO. It remains present, selective, structured, deliberate. This is not disengagement, it's institutional endurance. Act 4. Governance, finances, and reform. Sergey Lavrov welcomes the election of the new UNESCO Director General, Khaled El-Enani of Egypt. He describes it as a recognition of a reform agenda. During the campaign, the new leadership supported reducing politicization, strengthening the role of member states, and restoring financial transparency. Sergey Lavrov notes that these issues are especially critical today after the United States withdrew from UNESCO without settling its financial obligations. Tens of millions of dollars were left unpaid. The organization's budget was placed under strain and uncertainty. In a message of congratulations, President Vladimir Vladimirovich, or Vladimir Putin, reaffirmed Russia's intention to remain an active participant in UNESCO's work. Act 5. Russia's continued engagement. Despite political tensions, Sergey Lavrov outlines Russia's concrete contributions. New Russian sites have been added to the World Heritage List. UNESCO congresses have been hosted in Moscow. Educational institutions, universities, and UNESCO chairs have expanded. Russia continues cooperation in science, bioethics, engineering education, environmental protection, and the ethical governance of new technologies, including neurotechnologies. Partnerships with Africa and the Global South are presented as long-term commitments, not tactical alignments. Behind bureaucratic titles, Sergey Lavrov argues, lies real operational work with tangible impact. Act 6. Language, culture, and values. A major theme of the speech is defense of multilingualism. Sergey Lavrov stresses that language is not merely a tool of communication. It's the foundation of identity, memory, and civilization. He warns that if the digital space becomes monolingual, cyberspace will reflect geopolitical dominance rather than human diversity. Protecting linguistic diversity, he argues, is therefore not only cultural, it's a matter of sovereignty. Sergey Lavrov also emphasizes the protection of spiritual and moral values in education. He argues that technological process must be matched by ethical boundaries. Culture, he insists, must never become a weapon of exclusion. In this speech, Sergey Lavrov is not only addressing UNESCO, he is articulating a worldview, a vision of a multicolor world based on sovereignty, cultural diversity, and respect for international law. The message is clear. The battlefield is no longer confined to military or economic domains. It is now fought over norms, values, and moral legitimacy. UNESCO now stands at a crossroads. It must either rebalance or lose its credibility altogether. And this is the Zircon Show. In case we don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.